y'all, it's Betsy, and today we have a fun video. We're going to be testing out the new Klarity Kosmetics So Mermaizing palette. Now, I pre-ordered this palette on March the 23rd, and it came to me yesterday, which was April the 12th. So it was pretty fast. Now, this palette retails for $48. With shipping, I paid shipping and tax, I paid $59.95. And this palette is absolutely stunning, and this brand is, I really enjoy this brand. They are local to me. In our area, it's called the Golden Triangle. I live in Nederland, they're from Groves, so it's about 10 minutes away. It is a small indie black owned brand that I own, I think 3 or 4 eyeshadow palettes from. All amazing quality, and when I saw this I was like, yes, I need this in my life. Now, pastels are not typically my favorite, so we'll start with that, but I only bought it mainly for these freaking shimmers because these puppies are gorgeous. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? And this is the outside of the packaging. It did have a sleeve on it, and on the sleeve it does have all the ingredients listed, where it's from. It has a 12-month shelf life. It is cruelty-free and vegan. So right now they have pre-orders which are supposed to ship on May the 25th. So it's got the 4th round of pre-orders open. So we're gonna start off by swatching. Now, I have no eyeshadow primer or anything like that on my hand, so with pastels, I may have to build up the swatches some. So the first shade is Call Me on My Shell Phone. So this is like an aqua with some gold and green in it, but it is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Can kind of build it up a little bit so you can really see that pow in it. Then we have You Mermaid My Day, which You Mermaid My Day is almost like a minty blue. So it's got a tiny bit of green in it, but that's what that looks like. Then we have Beach Please, which is like a jade green with some gold, and then when you look at it you can see some lavender in it. It's so pretty. Then I'll have a Martini, which to me is like a pastel kind of sagey green. So it's almost like a grungy pastel. The colors are beautiful. Oh, I brought a wipe. Let me grab a wipe. So, there we go. Then we've got I Washed Up Like This. This is a beautiful color. So it's like a baby pink with some orange and some gold to it. See You Later, which is a matte baby pink. Oh Ship, if you look at my palette, I didn't mention this, but this shade came shattered. I do not fault the brand for that because it happens to me quite a lot whenever things are shipped postal service, because our postal people are terrible. So you can definitely see the yellow and the orange in that. You see what I mean? There's some orange, and that gold is just beautiful. Beautiful. And these duochromes do not have a lot of base pigment to them, just in case you're wondering. We have Long Time No See, which is a matte peach shade. Let me add a little bit more to that so you can see it a little bit better. Then we have Don't Be Selfish. This color is gorgeous. So you can definitely see the yellow, and then you can see the green. Isn't that pretty? And last but not least is Fantastic, which is a matte yellow. So on the camera you can see that some of the colors look a little washed out. Again, there's no primer or anything like that on my arm, and pastels don't always work on my skin tone. So what I did to prime my eyes to kind of prepare is I have on my lid the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas Eye Base in white to kind of give something to help the pastels show a little bit more. And then I used on the rest of my eyelid the NARS Tinted Smudge Proof eyeshadow base in light. But that's what it looks like. So pretty. So pretty. So I think we're gonna try to do like a rainbow pastel eye. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to work because, as I said, pastels are not always my friend. I mean, pastels can be hard to work with anyway whenever you have a deeper skin tone than like whiter than white. So again, that's why I decided to do the 2 primers, because I didn't want to have white up to my eyebrow. So I'm kind of just fading it in together, and now I'm just tapping over to get any of like the wrinkles out of my lid, because, you know, I'm 37, I'm fixing to be 38. I have older eyelids. And pastels can look chalky. And I know this and I'm prepared for it, and if it does, it's okay. Doesn't mean it's a bad palette, it just may not be the best palette for me. But we're gonna find out. Let's see, what kind of brush do I wanna start with? Okay, so I'm gonna grab this. This is a Rephr number 14, and we're gonna go into the shade Fantastic. So you can see it picks up on the brush. So this is that matte baby yellow shade, and we're gonna start off by blending that in our inner corner. Because, as I said, I want like a pastel rainbow eye. Now, I do wish there was a little bit more distinction in the blue and the green. Like, I wish that maybe one of them would have been a lavender instead. But, you know, I can always add that in with another palette. So, just going in and blending that out. That looks really pretty. So, yeah, you can definitely see the yellow. Now I'm gonna take that same brush and I'm gonna go into the Long Time No See, which is that matte peachy shade. And we're gonna bring that in. Still keeping it where it blends into that yellow shade. And then up and into the eyebrow. So these colors are very hard to see on camera, I am noticing, under these bright lights. But, you know, that is what it is. I don't know if I turned off my lighting, if it would make a difference. When we finish the eye look, I'll test that off camera, and if you can see it better, I will. If not, we'll be able to see the best results probably on Instagram. But yeah, you can kind of see it on here. So, that's the peach. So I'm having no issues with blending or anything like that. Now, if you do look in the palette, it is messy. But, you know, I've said this before a lot of times. Now I'm going into the See You Later shade, which is that pink. That's pretty. Yeah, you can see that one better. You can see where I applied it on this eye, but it's, you see what I mean? They're just pastels, so they don't show up the best, but you know, I can see them. Just if y'all can, I'm not sure. And there is like a beautiful, beautiful gradient blend to it. Hold on, let's see. Yep, there you go. You can see that better with the lights off. So we're gonna do the lights off for this tutorial, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Even though it's not flattering light at all, but you can see the pastels. So you can definitely see the gradient in between. I'm gonna grab a little bit more of that peach shade to kind of rebuild it back up, since, you know, the pink is a little bit more overpowering And then a little bit more pink. That's really pretty. Okay, next I'm gonna go into You Made My Day, which is that pastel blue, that minty blue. And I'm just going to use that one as the ending color because I think I'm gonna use the green one under my eye. I think will work the best. So again, that's blending beautifully. I'm not having any problems with blending. Now they are powdery, there is some kick up, so be prepared for that. If you do not like that, you probably will not like this formula. But for me, I don't mind, because to me, a lot of times when they are a little bit powderier, there is a better, they blend better for me. So that is very, very pretty. Very pretty. Okay. So that's what that looks like. Let's turn on our lights again. I have like a little, my lights are connected to a power strip. There it goes. Bright. So it's like when I use it, I can turn it on and off with my foot. Makes it easier. So now what I'm doing is I'm wiping off this flat brush from Kaleidos, and I'm going to grab, this is the Too Faced Glitter Primer, and we're gonna apply a dollop on each eyelid. Oh, we're gonna pause that there. I'll blend out this and then we'll come back because you hear the train. So I think the train is through blowing the horn. So I'm gonna use that same brush. And the first shade I'm gonna go into is Don't Be Selfish, which is that beautiful, beautiful yellow shade. And they're blowing the horn, but it's okay. And we're gonna apply that to the inner corner. Oh, you see how pretty that looks? Man, oh man. That is beautiful. That is stunning. And who doesn't love a rainbow eye? I know I do. And then we're just kind of blending that in. I'm gonna take the brush, wipe it off. Then we're gonna go into the shade Oh Ship, which is more of like the kind of corally color. And we're gonna apply that next. And again, just kind of tapping it in over the wet glitter glue. So you can definitely see the gradient. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see all the shades in the duochromes, but you know, when you're trying to use all the shades in a palette, sometimes that doesn't always work out the best. But they look beautiful. They look stunning on the eyes. See that? All that sparkle? Okay, I'm gonna wipe that away. Then we're gonna go into the shade I Washed Up Like This, which again is that pinky shade, which has a little bit more pigment to it. So you can see. I love supporting small indie brands as much as I absolutely possible, because you know, Too Faced doesn't need my money any more than, you know, this brand does. And yeah, I might spend a little bit more, but I'm paying for uniqueness. I'm paying for like someone's dream to come true. But yeah, I think that this is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. What do you think? And I think it's blending together beautifully. Okay, now I'm gonna wipe that away one more time, and we're gonna go into this shade Call Me on My Shell Phone, which is that first color in the palette, which is that aqua and gold and blue. Look at that. That is beautiful. And again, they're performing beautifully. I mean, I can't complain about how that looks or how it's going on. Now, the shimmers in this, they are crumbly, so you have to, I do recommend using a glitter glue. This is not something I would use without. I just think that that would be your best bet. But yeah, I mean, look at that. I think that looks really, really pretty. Really, really pretty. And again, who doesn't love a rainbow eye? Take my refer brush, kind of go over the edges a little bit, make sure everything's blended. Okay, so I am happy with how this looks. So I'm gonna go off camera, do the rest of my face makeup. We'll come back and do the lower lash line and talk about my thoughts on the palette. So I'm back and I have the rest of my face on. I used the Anastasia powder bronzer in Rich Amber. I used the Space Age Prophecy highlighter from Kaleidos, that multi-chrome one, and the Moira blush in Soft Berry. And I used the Fenty Glow lip gloss. And then, you know, I have a couple other things on my face, but nothing major. So I'm gonna take that same refer number 14 that I used on the top, and we're gonna go into I'll Have a Martini. I did line the bottom of my eyes with the Teaspoon shade from ColourPop. So let's see how this goes. I'm not sure if this is going to show up the best. I think I need something a little bit smaller. This is a refer number 2. We're gonna go into that. So you can see it's a little bit denser. And we're gonna apply that all under the lower waterline. So I mean, it shows up okay without a white base. I think it shows up better with a white base. But pastels are hard to wear anyway, you know. I didn't expect this to jump out and be like my favorite palette. I mean, honestly, I did not. Because even as much as I like the colors, because you know, who doesn't love pastels for spring, it doesn't always translate the best, as I said before, on like a medium complexion. So I'm just taking a little dollop of the Too Faced glitter glue, and this is a ColourPop E21 brush, and I'm applying that more towards the front of the eye, and I'm gonna go into that shade Beach Please with the same brush and highlight, use that to really brighten up that, oh, that did brighten up that inner corner. That looks really pretty. That looks really pretty. Look how bright that looks. Man, oh man. Comb through my eyebrows a bit. They need to get waxed. They are looking pretty. I guess the best way to put it would be they look like very much like I disregard my eyebrows. And I love my eyebrows. I do. They're like my favorite thing. Where's that refer brush? I'm going to take that same refer brush, and I'm going to take and just use that to soften up the edge of where I did, there we go, where I had the eye tape. And then it'll kind of help connect everything together as well. That looks really pretty. Really, really pretty. Okay, add some lower lash line mascara. We are still doing the mascara test. I have worn false eyelashes once in a different mascara one time since, so I'm really trying to keep up with, to make sure I do the fairest thing whenever it comes to this mascara test, and you will see why in a couple of weeks. I'm giving it longer to show results than what it says on the packaging. So we'll see if it actually works out the way that I want it to. So this is the finished look. What do you think? I think it looks super duper pretty. So for my final thoughts on the palette, I really love the foiled shades. The pastels, again, just aren't my thing. I feel like my skin tone doesn't lend itself to looking the best on pastels, but I still enjoy this palette. And I think if I mixed it with some deeper shades, I think it would be phenomenal. But I do rate the metallics, like they are phenomenal. And as far as blending goes, how the pastels applied, they look amazing. They're just not my typical color story. So to rate the palette, I would rate it on all that, more so than the color story itself. But my goodness, these foils, look at that. Even in this light, you can see, and they blended together beautifully. Absolutely beautifully. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button right down below. And if you hit the notification bell icon next to it, that will notify you when I post new videos. But I guess that's it. So we'll see y'all later. Bye.